All right, everybody, it's 10 o'clock. Just to let you know, I'm new at the webinar, so we can see the panelists, but I can't see all of you. When it's time for, we have certain speakers that are going to speak at the beginning. And when it's time for those speakers, I'll find you in the list and promote you to panelist at that time and let you go ahead and say, everything that, you're going to say. And then I'll put you back to attendee. Then once we get to the section where everybody, can put in some input, then you can raise your hands at that point, which we'll let you know when that is. And then I can go down the list and click on the hands, as we go. So if you have any questions, I can put chat up as well, so we can see a little bit of everything. So I would say we're going to start off. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Is Senator Rodriguez on now? She'll be a panelist.
Yeah, she needs to be a panelist.
She needs to be a panelist.
Chat for right now. Let's see.
Yep, there she is, Anna.
Where is she?
Fourth down, one more.
Oh, okay. What panelist?
There she is. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, everyone. It was so awkward to not be a panelist. Like I could hear you and I could see you, but you couldn't hear me.
Hey, IT is
Thank
not.
you.
I'm good at Google. Okay, I think we're whole. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2021-22 delegation meeting. Getting ready for a session in January and February on priorities, and we're anxious to hear our thoughts and what's going on around this county and what everybody's thinking. First, we'll call to order, and then Senator Rodriguez is here. Yes, she is. So let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. And again, Senator Rodriguez, you have anything to say off the bat?
Yes, well, first of all, thank you, Representative Mooney. Thank you to all the team at Monroe County who helped put this together. It's an honor and a privilege to represent Monroe County in Tallahassee. Representative Mooney and I just came back from Tallahassee. We were there last week, and we had a very productive week while we were there. It was the first time the Capitol was fully open since COVID struck a year and a half ago. So it was nice to see people back in the Capitol coming to advocate for their priorities. So we had that last week. In other news for Monroe County and for the delegation, both Representative Mooney and I have been appointed in our respective chambers to be members of the redistricting committees, which is also a big testament to our Monroe County leadership. It's really exciting to be part of this process that happens every 10 years when the maps are redrawn. So again, just congratulations to Representative Mooney for being appointed in the House. And again, it's exciting to be doing this in the Senate side. Besides that, we're just excited to, get session started, hear all of your priorities today, and we're all ears. So Representative Mooney, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Senator. It's quite an honor to be on that committee. I was shocked that I got that. So I'll just give the quick, Lisa asked earlier what committees I'm on. So I was on 6 committees last year. I'm still on those same 6 committees, which was finance and facilities, post-secondary education and lifelong skills, early elementary education, infrastructure, tourism and appropriations, environmental and flooding, state affairs, the redistricting, and the pandemics and public emergency committees. So full plate for us in Tallahassee this year. I've filed a couple of bills already, so we'll be looking forward, hoping to have a bill for landlord assistance and rent paying deposits. So it's an insurance bill. It's just another tool in the toolbox to help people get into an apartment or a home with a little more affordable by having insurance companies guarantee that security deposit. With that, I'll get deeper in that as we move forward that bill and see how far it goes. Hopefully it finishes at the finish line. But we'll start off with Monroe County and Mayor Coldiron.
Thank you and good morning. Greetings, Senator Rodriguez and Representative Mooney. On behalf of the county commissioners, I just want to start by expressing our gratitude for all that you all accomplished for us last year, your freshman year in Tallahassee. That was amazing. And it's a quick turnaround this year. And I feel sort of like that Janet Jackson song of "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" Because here we are, and we already have our list, our wish list for you, and the county does, as well as all the municipalities. And I would just ask that you remember where you all came from as a representative in city councils and in county commissioners, and how important home rule is for us. And please know that while you're in Tallahassee, we are here for you. And if there's ever a time you want us to come with you to Tallahassee, we will. If you ever want to call us and ask us a quick question, we are here for you because you are who make us great. So with that, I am turning it over to Lisa, and thank you so much.
Lisa, you're up.
Representative, Senator, I totally echo the mayor's comments. Thanks for everything last year, and thanks in advance for all the hard work you're about to embark on for us this session. So I'm going to run through the Board of County Commissioners legislative priorities for the session. A few of them, most of them are perennial. We worked on them last year, a few new ones. So I'll go through my list very briefly. Obviously, securing the full appropriation for our Stewardship Act funding is priority number one. Accomplished last year, unbelievable, great. Like the mayor said, hate to ask you to have to do it all over again, but we need you to do it all over again. An important component to the Stewardship Fund advocacy is also trying to get the Stewardship Act into the Land Acquisition Trust Fund, right? This is the fund to which all of the Amendment $1 flow for big environmental projects throughout the state. Projects like the Everglades restoration and Springs restoration are are funded through the LATF. And if we can get into the LATF, it elevates the Stewardship Act funding as a statewide, further elevates it as a statewide priority environmentally. And it also helps secure recurring funding. Now, recurring funding isn't guaranteed, but it's the closest we have to recurring funding. And so this huge lift that we have to make every year through the appropriations process for $25 million, getting into the LATF puts us, on the 20-yard line instead of starting from zero. So it would be a huge accomplishment for us to get into the Land Acquisition Trust Fund. So we'll be working with all lobbyists. We have a legislative strategy for that, and we'll be working closely with you on that. That will require both legislative support and, of course, support from the executive, from the governor's office. We'll continue to tackle the issue of derelict vessels this year. Last year, legislature passed a bill, SB 1086, that enacted new anchoring limits, 90-day anchoring limits. We really think that those anchoring limits are an effective strategy for reducing derelict vessels. However, there was a condition placed in the bill that makes the enactment of that new limit almost impossible for us. We must place 300 new mooring balls before we can enact that. Now, we've worked closely with the local stakeholders and with the cities and with Senator Albritton. We've talked about how our need for new mooring balls is there, but maybe not 300, maybe it's something lower, 100, 70. We also would like to bifurcate the treatment of stored vessels versus liveaboards and go ahead and be able to enact the 90-day anchoring limits right away on stored vessels, and then delay that for the liveaboards until we can place the new vessels. So we are working with the cities and with FWC on language. That language is almost finalized and will be to Senator Albritton very shortly. Okay. Let's see. Resilience funding. This isn't necessarily a legislative issue, but we want you to know that we'll be up there and our team will be advocating very very astutely with the governor's office and with DEP. We have the Monroe County placed 6 projects in the new Resilient Florida Grant Program portal. 2 of those projects, Twin Lakes and Stillwright Point, are very important to the county commissioners. They experience an enormous amount of flooding and sea level rise issues, king tides. Those projects are incredibly important for us. And we just want to let you know that we'll be up there trying to secure funding through that grant program. Now, there's a lot of uncertainty about how that's going to work. The legislature did allocate $100 million in state funding for that grant program, but it also allocated $500 million in federal funding through ARPA for that program. And it's not entirely certain yet how those funds will be distributed. And if there's an avenue for those funds to be distributed, we are certainly going to exploit any avenue that's available. So we just want to put that on your radar and let you know about that. Let's see. Citizens wind insurance, huge issue for us. Cost of living, housing costs. I mean, we benefited from a 10% cap on rate increases every year. Last year, the legislature changed that. We're now on an incremental increase of rate caps, 11% this year, 12% the following year, 1% each year, increasing each year over the next 5 years. In 5 years, we'll have a 15% rate cap. Now, this is may not sound like a lot, but when people are paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in premiums already, any kind of increase is expensive and certainly exacerbates the housing costs down here. So we're not entirely sure what the avenue will be for carving Monroe County out of that rate cap increase and getting us to remain at 10%, but also want to put that on your radar. Monroe County Land Authority. The Monroe County Land Authority is the only one of its kind in the state. It's associated with the area of critical state concern, and its charge is to acquire land for the purposes of protecting environmentally sensitive land and for the purposes of developing affordable housing. It has some other statutory responsibilities too. But one of the things we'll be seeking is a bill to clarify a new role for the Land Authority. The Land Authority has a new executive director, Ms. Christine Hurley. She comes to the Land Authority from Monroe County Board of County Commissioners as the assistant county manager. And while Ms. Hurley was here at the county, she developed a slate of new programs, built an infrastructure and an expertise around flood mitigation, sea level rise mitigation grants. And she's become an expert in that. And she wants to take that expertise over to the Land Authority and continue that work. And so we want to clarify that in her role at the Land Authority, she'll be able to continue to secure, administer, and manage those resilience grant programs from her new office. We think it makes sense. It complements the work that the Land Authority already does now because it already works with private property owners. And it certainly complements the work that the county does, which will be to continue to focus on public infrastructure resilience, while the Land Authority focuses on grant programs to raise homes and work with private properties on resilience. So we'll be needing your help to carry a bill to make that change. We thought initially that could be a local bill, Senator and Representative, but upon further deliberation, realized it will have to be a general bill. So we're going to need your help sponsoring that bill. Preemptions, the mayor touched on this. Can't say enough about preemptions. Hugely important. The local business regulation preemption last year is just a perfect example of how the legislature gets it wrong with preemptions. They thought they were helping local small tradespeople and businesses and actually ended up hurting them. We have 400 local tradespeople down here now that can't pull their own licenses because we have no way they can't pull their own permits to do their own work because they have no way of being licensed. We were helping them get licensed, and now we don't have that ability to help them get licensed anymore. And now they don't have licenses and can't pull their own permits. So they don't always get it right at the state. They don't know what the local solutions are and the local problems are. And we really, really, really need your support when it comes to the preemptive initiatives coming out of the state legislature. And with that, I think I'm pretty much all set.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, you made a good point. Everything that happens in Tallahassee, I found out very quickly, has an impact on Monroe County that no one else in the state has. It's amazing. Like I constantly going like, well, you're killing us. You're killing us. Whether it's the insurance bill, obviously I voted no on that because I thought they said perhaps 15%. No, it actually was always going to be 15% increase. How there's any doubt about that. Anna Maria, I believe she voted no on that same insurance bill, as did several other South Florida elected officials. But yeah, we'll continue. And of course, we know the assault on vacation rentals will continue. We know that. So you can be assured that we'll do. I know I'll do what I can. I know Senator Rodriguez will do what she can do.
Yeah, and just in Lisa's presentation, I actually spoke with Ryan Matthews yesterday, and I am going to be filing the bill for Monroe County that you mentioned.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Senator. Too. We need that.
Sure.
Okay. Next up, City of Key West.
There she is.
Okay, there was a lot of buttons to push there.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for that promotion.
Good to see you.
And thank you, Senator Rodriguez and Representative Mooney for organizing this delegation event. We truly appreciate it. As you may know, the city is working with the lobbyist Gray Robinson and specifically with Joseph Salzberg and with Jason Unger. So we hope that you both will be able to work very closely with them as we work through our agenda. And first and foremost, I would like to say that we certainly support the county's entire legislative agenda, which encompasses many of the issues that are paramount here in the city of Key West, to include sustainability, homelessness, mental health, transportation, growth management, affordable housing, single-use plastic bags, vacation rentals, and of course, retention of home rule. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Lisa Tennyson, the county's Legislative Affairs Director, who has been very patient and very kind to both the city manager, Patty McLaughlin, and myself as we're trying to slug through this. And I have to admit that we have more than just a little legislative agenda or a legislative affairs director's envy at this point. To have somebody that knowledgeable and that experienced at the county level is really a godsend. So thank you for sharing her. Our priority funding for the city of Key West this year will be, we're going to focus on the $300,000 glass crush appropriations. We were almost there last year before COVID hit. As you know, the city of Key West produces an incredible amount of glass, mostly in the form of beer bottles, which we transport 176 miles by the pound up to be disposed of. So we feel that we have a real opportunity to repurpose that glass in the city of Key West and perhaps in the county. Our second priority funding focus is, again, the Florida Keys Stewardship Act funding. We're going to be, we'd like to have some coordinated funding efforts for the CARES Act sub-grantee opportunities, for homelessness prevention programs, coordinating our efforts with the county and also with the county's COC, and also the Sadowski Affordable Housing Trust Fund to be fully funded. The policy topics that we're going to monitor and engage in are affordable housing, and we certainly want to support the legislation that provides property tax relief for residential properties that rent long-term for affordable and workforce housing. And just a little bit of information for you. We just attended a housing authority meeting the other night. And if you want to know how bad affordable housing is in the city of Key West, our housing authority has a waiting list of 128 years right now. And that includes both locals and outside of Key West residents requesting housing. Citizens property insurance, as Lisa mentioned, is a major issue for us that continues to be a detriment for people to be able to live in the city of Key West. Growth management policies as our BPAS units near the end. Homelessness. We're building a new shelter. We're about 3 years out, but it will be a 24-hour facility providing wraparound services. Preservation of home rule, and most specifically to mount a defense against preemptive efforts. reef flood and all other environmental issues, resiliency, water quality issues, vacation rentals, and derelict vessels. And Lisa mentioned the program. We have been working with a group, and we certainly do agree with the derelict vessel issue, but we want to also make sure that we are protecting those vessels that are being utilized right now for affordable workforce housing. We spent the last 11 months generating our 3-year strategic plan, which we have sent to our lobbyist. So many of these priorities will fold right into our strategic plan. And when the time is right, the city of Key West would really like to explore a food and beverage tax in order to support our homeless services here. So that's about it from the city of Key West. Thank you all for your efforts and your hard work that you're about ready to embark on. If we can be of any help, please reach out to our lobbyist, all of our elected officials, and our city staff. They've been working hard to get our project shovel ready so that we can accept the appropriations when they come our way. So any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mayor Justin. Yeah, I'll be working closely with Ray Robinson, as I'm sure Senator Rodriguez will be. We have a good relationship, so we look forward to doing as much as we can for you, and certainly resiliency, housing. Sadowski Fund was obviously a battle last year that I think all of us realtors that are elected officials fought very hard for, to maintain that 200 million never to be swept out again, and no less than 200 million. So hopefully we can get that program really moving forward the way it was designed to be. But we're here for you, and we hear you, and certainly I have no problem reaching out and asking questions. I pretend to know nothing. It's the best way for me to succeed, is to always ask somebody that's smarter than myself. So we're here, and with that, we'll turn it over to George Garrett from City of Marathon.
Good morning, all, and thanks very much for this annual event that we enter into every year as we enter the legislative session. Lisa did a fantastic job of hitting virtually every point the city of Marathon has, and did it spectacularly. So thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. To highlight a few of those, though, first of all, I think each of you, Senator and Representative, know that we are represented by Carol Bracey with Ballard, and Ronna Brown with Book, and of course Book occasionally when he can step in. We have virtually the same issues. I know that our attorney is sitting on the phone, or on the meeting as well, Steve Williams, noted with me yesterday, I believe, that there's actually a bill out there that takes the offense for a change in this vacation rental preemption issue. And honestly, I think it may not be the route that will ultimately win, but I think it's the first time that there's been an offense driven to accomplish something for local governments and vacation rentals. We are an advocate for vacation rentals. We enjoy them. We regulate them here. We want to protect our ability to do that. And actually, if we can increase our ability to manage our vacation rentals through local government, we certainly will continue to fight for that. And certainly, if we have to go on the defense, protect our ability to continue to do that. As Lisa mentioned, we continue to support Florida Key Stewardship Act. That does need to become a recurring effort, something that we don't have to go back to the well for every year. And again, we certainly want as much of that as we can from the land acquisition perspective placed in the land acquisition trust fund. And that way, again, we have a dependable source of funding. Then, the sea level rise sustainability things, as the county has done, we are pursuing efforts that are becoming available through the Sustainability Acts last year. So certainly we are pursuing those, but we want to be a participant in any things that go on the next year related to those issues. As noted by Lisa also, the issue over specialty licensing, The city is affected by that too, because frankly, we operate under the umbrella of the county in that regard, and their ability to specialty license. And honestly, you know, they've done a yeoman's job, I think, in extending their licensing without violating the statute as created last year, in giving us some time until I believe it's 2023 to manage that issue and allow our specialty license individuals, entities to continue to operate. But it is something we need to deal with this year and make the tweaks necessary so that those people can continue to operate legally and without having to come under the umbrella of some, you know, contractor somewhere. The wind insurance rates already spoken to. The derelict vessel issue. I mean, this is something that I spent 20 years of my life dealing with and now moved on, but it's still very much a part of what we do. And as much as this is has been a Key West and county issue, and as Lisa noted, we are very much a part of the modifications in this legislation. The city of Marathon has a fantastic mooring field, but we also have a lot of issues surrounding that mooring field that are exactly in line with the issues presented, particularly, I guess, more by the county and FWC, because of the fact that there's still derelict vessels out there. There are still vessels being used as storage vessels, all of which are a problem when it comes to managing them and assuring that they don't go to the bottom. And that's really the issue at the end of the day. General preemption issues continue to be an issue for us. I think any local government. The county last year, I know, and the year before, I made some substantial efforts to work on the takings issues as we are coming to the end of ROGO and BPAS, depending on which jurisdiction you're in. I think we need to at least continue to pay attention to that, even if we don't move forward with it. Anything in particular in terms of legislation. And then finally, we are coming to the end of ROGO and BPAS as we know it today. And this is not necessarily a legislative issue, but I think it's all something we need to be talking about. I've already started the dialogue a little bit with DEO. We need to begin the hurricane evacuation modeling effort so that we can look towards the future and potentially not just extend ROGO or BPAS out a couple of years, but actually look at the potential to continue that process of permitting vacant properties within not only the city of Marathon, but the other jurisdictions, not simply as a stopgap, but as a continued process of allowing people to utilize their property, while at the same time we're seeking, you know, the funding through stewardship or what have you, to purchase land that really probably ought to be purchased for environmental purposes. So I think that's my list. Some of the things, well, that's it. So we'll leave it at that, and greatly appreciated for all of your time and efforts in Tallahassee. Our lobbyists are going to be more than willing to work with you, and we appreciate all of your time. And in hopes that we can all see you at maybe Florida Keys Day this year, we'll all join you at some point in Tallahassee, we hope. So thank you.
You're good.
Thank you, George. Obviously I know all the players there, but I know all the lobbyists. Well, I have 10 years in Alamorada, so the lobbyists and I are very well connected. So I know we'll work well together as usual. With that said, thank you, George. And now on to the Village of Alamorada and Greg and Rouget.
Hey, good morning, Representative Mooney and Senator Rodriguez. On behalf of Mayor Pinder and our Village Council, which includes the Vice Mayor Pete Batchelor, Councilman Greg and Councilman Webb, who are on this call, our 130 employees and more than 6,000 residents. It's an honor to be with you today. And even though I'm the new guy, I know I'm lucky to have you representing our community. And in fact, about 22 years ago, when I still had a little bit of hair left on my head, I was lucky enough to work with then Councilman Mooney for a time on the betterment of Alamorada. And even though I went off to other parts of the state he was here all the while and working on that mission. And I'm grateful to be rejoining you, Representative Mooney, and joining you, Senator Rodriguez, in the betterment of this community. Back then, before the year 2000, we didn't know if Islamorada and the Keys would ever go from septic to sewer. But what might have seemed like a pipe dream back then has turned into pipes in the ground now. And thanks to a lot of people working hard, smarting together, including this delegation, the previous delegation, and just about everyone on this Zoom call, we're now over 99% connected. And with this major milestone reached, it's important for us to set our sights on the next round of great challenges and opportunities and be reminded that when this team works hard, smart, and together, we can rise to any occasion. And as we rise to the occasion of the upcoming legislative session, on behalf of the village and the people of Islamorada, I would respectfully ask for your help with the following. The Florida Key Stewardship Act funding. Lisa and the gang did a great job of explaining that, so you know it very well. It is our #1 ask. Also, it's been brought up, but is hugely important, is the build out of the Florida Keys, whether build outs in 2023, 2026, or another date dictated by the evacuation model, it is looming. Property values and property rights advocacy are an all-time high. That doesn't bode well for takings cases and the corresponding financial exposure to Islamorada, the other communities of the Florida Keys, or the state of Florida. And for as long as the Keys have been designated as an area of critical state concern, property acquisition has been a cornerstone of the game plan. It's even more important now. And while we're still formulating and finalizing our local approach, it's obvious that we're going to need your help with policy and funding. And even a fully funded Stewardship Act is only going to get us so far. Next up is safeguarding the village vessel exclusion zone swim area. This hard-fought effort really made a difference in the perceived quality of life here in the village, and it's hugely important to us. This community win is never taken away. And speaking of things which could be taken away, I would respectfully call upon you, two people who know the great joys, trials, and tribulations of serving your community through a city council. Please do not let the state erode our village's right, or any city's right, to home rule. And an important policy example is vacation rentals, and I appreciate other people bringing this one up as well. Islamorada is one of the lucky places. It's one of the lucky cities in Florida to have a grandfathered vacation rental ordinance. But every year we worry that the existing ordinance might be taken away. And we wish, oh, do we wish that we were allowed to exercise our home rule powers to amend the existing ordinance pursuant to a citizen-driven policymaking process in the hopes of making it better. Accordingly, at a minimum, please protect our grandfather vacation rental ordinance. But if the opportunity ever presents itself, please take back our right, give us our right back to make this a better regulation still. It's huge, it's hugely important. And I think that maybe the way into that is that the Keys is different. The Keys are different than many areas in the state of Florida. If there was an area that deserved the right to regulate vacation rentals, it should be this area of critical state concern. Senator Rodriguez and Representative Mooney, there are over 400 municipalities in the state of Florida, and all of them are special in their own way. And most of them are similarly engaged in calling on their delegation for help with a seemingly infinite array of funding and policy priorities. Of course, the problem is that you and the state, as great as you are, in my opinion, the best, you have a very finite amount of time and money. And therefore, it's critical that these funding and policy requests demonstrate that they're compelling interests of the state. And that's really where the village's legislative requests and so many requests of our sister governments here in Monroe County. And it was really a pleasure to listen to everyone's presentation for the first time and to learn that we have so much overlap. Because here in Monroe County, we're one of the areas that in fact can state that we're in a state created area of critical state concern. So here in this area of critical state concern, we're again counting on you for your help and the help of our state in fulfilling our community's great promise. Please help us with the Stewardship Act funding, build out, safeguarding our swim area, vacation rentals, along with greater right to home rule. And again, thank you for this opportunity to address you. I look forward to working with you, and please know that our staff and I are at your disposal. The council has made it clear that they would go up to Tallahassee as needed and warranted. Please call on us anytime we can be of service. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And I do remember when you had hair. I do. I swear I do. Anyway, thank you. And of course, we'll continue to work with everybody. And we are blessed in the county to have such great interlocal workmanship amongst each other. We all appreciate that. And with that said, we will now move on to the City Administrator Dave Turner from Key Colony Beach. And Mayor Sutton, if she's on.
Yes, Ron Sutton, Mayor, I'm on. I'd like to thank you, Senator Maria Rodriguez, and also you, Jim, for all your hard work in the past. Even though some of our appropriations didn't get through last year, we knew it was going to be a tough battle when we went into it. But you did what you could, and we need to move on. We're hoping that this year, we can get that appropriation passed to help us with our city hall. I know you tried last year, but you and I spoke and it had a slim chance, but hopefully this year you find folks to be able to get this in for us. I know Jerry Paul from Capital Access is our lobbyist. I'm assuming he's on this Zoom call, and I'm sure he'll help you and work with you in any way he can. Dave Turner is also on the call, and of course myself, and we'll do anything to help you in any manner that you need. I'd like to see us continue with the Stewardship Act. It's good for all of us, and we need this, so please continue with that. The vacation rentals, we do have an ordinance, but also we worry every year that something will be changed to where that's eliminated, and we certainly do not want that. I'd like to close by saying we wish you a successful legislative session, and we look forward to working with you fine people. And at that time, I'd like to see if our city administrator, Dave Turner, could say a couple words or if he has anything to add. Thank you.
Dave?
Good morning, all. Senator Rodriguez and Representative Mooney, thank you so much for all your help and looking forward to working with you in the future. We do support Monroe County, Mayor Coldiron, and Lisa's doing a great job as a whole. We're just a small little city. We do support all our locals, cities around us. And a big thing is the stewardship, the local rule. We do have a stormwater project that we like to finish up for our city, and then our city would be complete. And again, with the trailer, we're in the trailers since Irma, and if we can get a new city hall built, that's pretty much our priorities at this point. Again, thank you so much, and looking forward to working with the senator and our representative in the future and in Tallahassee. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, it was a tough push last year, but your approach is filed and in the system right now. So now it's time we'll get to work on that. Hopefully get those stormwater projects completed and you're done, like you said. So that's a top priority, and we'll guarantee we'll push for it hard. And Jerry and I work together closely to make sure that happens. And anything, Hannah? Okay, that said, moving on to the city of Layton. Is Mimi speaking?
Yes, yes.
Mimi.
I promoted her. Mimi, are you there?
Mimi?
Oh, maybe I didn't. I'm sorry.
You're doing good, Corey.
I'm doing good.
Hopefully she pops up here in a second. Mimi, are you on?
I'm here. Sorry, it took a minute. Lots of buttons to push.
It seems to be a consensus.
Yeah. Well, good morning, everybody. Mayor Halley did have a conflict with his schedule today, but on behalf of him and the city council, we do thank you, Jim and Anna Maria, for all of your hard work representing us. Simply put, we support the county and all of the other cities. We have the same problems, and home rule seems to be number one. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mimi.
I have no more.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
I don't know if we have anybody on and I didn't hear from them, so,
Okay, well, they're usually busy.
yeah. Well, I would say give them 1 second, just make sure nobody raises their hand in case there's
Anybody,
somebody on that we weren't aware of.
anybody out there from Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Where's the superintendent's on?
I could find her.
Is the superintendent on in the school board?
Okay, so
No?
go to Susan.
Okay,
Sue Voltansky.
Susan Woltansky, you're there. I see you. Good morning.
Good morning. I brought my assistant,
I see that.
Hey, I was
Hello,
like,
cutie.
it's
Archie. He loves politics and iguanas.
Oh, boy.
Thank you so much for having this today and for your continued support of our schools. Still trying to get you, Anne Maria, into our beautiful schools down here. We'll get working on that later. Monroe County School Board is a member of the Florida School Boards Association, the Greater Florida Consortium of School Board Members, and the Small School Districts Coalition. And this year, all of those organizations are prioritizing the need for improved mental health services for our students this year. You know, this has been a priority of the First Lady, Casey DeSantis, for the last 2 sessions, and the legislature has supported those efforts, which we really appreciate, but the needs continue to be greater than the available services, especially here in the Keys. So we support increasing the funding of the mental health allocation to address the critical shortages of the mental health staff and services in our schools. We need more school psychologists, social workers, and we need enhanced mental health services both in our schools and in our community. And you know, we believe this investment will improve the mental health of our students and their family and are essential for helping our kids reach their full potential. So whatever we can do for that within the schools and throughout the community is greatly appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah, we'll work very closely with Rep. Alupis, who is my role model for education and everything around it. So we'll see what's out there on the table, and hopefully we can get some stuff pushed through them. For the needs are there for sure. They've been there forever, and they're not going to go away.
Right.
So we need to just take care of that. But thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
Representative, if I may just respond to something that School Board Member Woltansky said. I'm actually sponsoring a bill in the Senate, which will give reciprocity to licensed mental health counselors from other states to come work in Florida and vice versa. I think it'll help expand our workforce in that arena. And I agree, there is a big need for mental health counseling, you know, especially in our schools. So I'm a big supporter of that. So thank you.
That's great. We're also working in the school district to grow our own. So to provide tuition to teachers who want to go on and become school psychologists. We're working on programs for that, but yeah, we need the people, we need the bodies. So thank you for that.
Great, Anna. We'll get with you on that, Anna, on that bill. That's nice.
I need a house. So if you have any slots, let me know.
We have plenty of slots open. I learned from last year, we're taking our time with bills.
Okay.
We're not just filling them up. Okay, moving on. Florida Bay Forever. Emma.
Hi, good morning. Representative Mooney, Senator Rodriguez, really pleased to be here today to discuss our legislative priorities for the 2022 session. Our organization is Florida Keys based. We are all about protecting and preserving Florida Bay, as it is our central economic driver here in Monroe County, and the health of the Bay is paramount to a robust economy and thriving communities down here in the Keys. So we have 4 policy or issue areas that we are looking at for this upcoming session. The first and foremost, always in the top of our list, is ecosystem restoration. So full funding for Everglades restoration, with particular focus on the funding and expediting of the EAA Reservoir project. That is such a key project that will bring the clean water south that we need and provide the single greatest benefit for Florida Bay and our surrounding communities here in the Keys. So we want you guys to keep doing what you have been doing, which is remaining intently focused on funding and expediting that critical project. We echo the county on calls to support full funding for Florida Forever and robust funding allocations for the Florida Key Stewardship Act, and also support full funding and implementation of water quality recommendations from the blue-green algae and red tide task forces, also including an update to statewide stormwater standards. We also have shifted focus a little bit to resilience this year. We recognize that sea level change is one of the greatest threats to the state's investment in restoring America's Everglades. So we want to see a maintenance of robust funding for local and regional resiliency projects. And then finally, we also support home rule. As I think every single speaker on our call has today, we know that our communities here in the Keys, whether at the county or local level, know what's best for the protections for our land, water, and natural resources. And so we want to ensure that that self-determination is maintained and oppose any preemption policies that would undermine our ability to do that. So again, that wraps it up for us. Appreciate the time to present on those priorities and all the work that both of you have done to support the Everglades and our environment here in the Florida Keys.
Thank you, Emma. Look forward to working with you and continuing those projects forward. We had a good session last year with water quality, and I think between the South Florida Water Management District and the new retention wall and stuff, will continue to make strides, albeit never as fast as we all want them to be. At least we're moving forward, and that's the most important thing. And I think the storage north of the lake, while a little controversial there in the beginning, I think will also help get some of that cleaner water back in the lake, when it, as opposed to just coming straight out of Kissimmee River polluted. Although it's a great restoration project, Kissimmee River, it still has a lot of stormwater runoff and still has a lot of that septic biomass that continues to flow out of the subterranean area, and not a good thing. So anyway, we're going to continue to work on clean water, that's for sure. It's my lifeblood, so it's me. Is Dr. Crosby on?
Kate Deloach.
Oh, Kate.
Yeah.
Kate Deloach speaking for Moat Marine.
Good morning, everyone. It is so great to see your faces, and I'm excited to work with you all again this session. I'm sorry that Dr. Crosby, he apologized for not being able to be here personally to address the delegation this morning, but just wanted me to thank you both for supporting our coral reef restoration funding, and Moat will be seeking your support again this year. They're excited about their Keys land-based coral nurseries expansion to Isla Morada and Key Largo. And Moat will certainly be happy to wave the flag at Florida Keys Day if we're able to do that again this year. And so again, thank you for your continued support on Moat's behalf. It means a lot to have you guys leading the charge on that front. I also have the pleasure of saying a few words on behalf of the Aqueduct Authority. Carrie Shelby is in a board meeting this morning. So we just wanted to thank you for your support of their appropriation as well. The Aqueduct will be seeking some additional funding this year for some operational upgrades, and I look forward to working with you both again on those issues.
Thank you, Kate. You know where the offices are at.
I sure do.
And don't put any pressure on us for Keys Day.
I promise I'll help.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna need lots of help. We can pull it off. Okay, that's our stakeholders. Is there any public comments out there? Anybody wish to speak publicly?
Mr. Webb, please unmute.
Morning, everybody. Senator Rodriguez, Representative Mooney, I want to first thank you for your Herculean efforts on behalf of the citizens of Isla Morada last legislative session. And we know you have an overwhelming agenda going forward. I just wanted to offer a couple of observations. One has already been mentioned by almost every speaker, and the issue of home rule. And something that maybe some of your colleagues could reevaluate as they move forward on these issues is the fact that the counties and the municipalities, the stakeholders of the state of Florida, should be seen as allies. We can do the heavy lifting closest to the representatives on issues that are very specific in our community. So if there was a way to have a conversation going forward about that, maybe it would change the tone and tenor of some of the activities related to preemption. The other thing I'd like to mention is regarding the end of BPAS, ROGO, whatever community you're in. And I would caution all our representatives as we move down this path that we not be tempted to grab the easy straw. And the easy straw is to say we can move more people in 24 hours out of the Keys. That if we go that path, we will continue to have expansive development in a very environmentally sensitive area where many of the residents that are here now feel that we're overbuilt already. So I would just urge us to be cautious and careful as we navigate this path in the coming years so that we don't unintentionally or intentionally do something that actually isn't in the best interest of our constituents or the place where we live. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Webb, and your voice is heard.
We go to Emma next, and then
Emma?
you have.
Back again. Like Kate, I am wearing a second hat today as a volunteer and chair of the Public Policy Committee for the Upper Keys BPW. And I just wanted to reiterate our policy pillars and platform for the Upper Keys chapter. Our local organization here in the Upper Keys represents 95 business and professional women in our area. And this chapter has been active for 56 years, working to achieve equity for all working women in their families through education, advocacy, and information. So our local chapter has adopted the state platform of the state organization, BPW. So I'll just go through our core pillars quickly. The first of which is equality for all. So our chapter supports any legislation that calls for equality for all, including but not limited to the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment. We focus on economic equity, opportunity, and self-sufficiency. So our chapter supports legislation that assists women obtaining pay equity and equal employment opportunities. We also support legislation that helps promote affordable dependent care. We also want to support policy that looks at safe workplace. So anything to help create safe workplaces for women, including robust funding and education to meet that goal. Healthcare is also a priority. Our chapter supports funding for women's healthcare needs and supports legislation that ensures reproductive choice and full access to all reproductive health education and services. And finally, as we could guess, environment is a part of the platform. Environment is our business, quite literally here in the Keys. And so the Upper Keys BPW supports legislation that protects clean water, air, energy, and soil. So we appreciate the opportunity to share our platform with all of you. I know that both Senator Rodriguez and Rep. Mooney have been working in each of these key policy areas, and we only would hope that more can be done to achieve equality and equity for Florida Keys women and children in our area. So thank you all.
Thank you, Emma.
Okay, Mr. Ward, please unmute.
Good morning. I'm Gerald Ward, Truman and Whitehead, Old Town Key West. I would suggest that we focus certainly on the county's listed half of the priorities of the county that they adopted mid-month last week. And I would also comment that I've been involved with the legislature till this year, and I'm super happy to find out that you've gone past the lockdowns for this coming year. But I've been for 50 years, I've been in every session. I would suggest that we consider that we do have 2 regional taxing districts that could address some of the county's needs, and obviously the city piggybacked on much of the county's priorities. They are the South Florida Water Management District and the Florida Inland Navigation District. The Navigation District does not have Monroe County as a county yet, but it does have an intercoastal waterway that runs to Key West, which could be added on as a bobtail, no different than the turnpike bobtail was done decades ago. So that district already funds derelict vessels and addresses a local program of navigation aid marking. and deals in water quality aspects because they've added on the Lake Okeechobee waterway so that the modifications to navigation in the lake can then accommodate our desire for more water south versus keeping it in the lake. We can also raise and lower the lake level, particularly lower the lake level without adverse effects that have been a limit today. So I would hope that somebody would consider the adding fine, having Martin County as an additional county. The funding of that district by ad valorem taxing is minuscule by ad valorem millage. At the same time, they are dealing in all three issues that I just mentioned. And we could fund a lot of what you need with more local control versus Tallahassee. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have any other hands raised. Is there anybody else that wishes to
Senator
speak?
Rodriguez, do you have to run? I see it's 10:55. I thought you had 11.
No, I'm good. I'll stay on. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because certainly I wouldn't want you to miss your next appointment.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Any other comments from the public? Panelists, anybody else? Finish up? Okay, with that said, pardon me? Yeah. Anna, so you want to go ahead and close?
Well, first of all, I want to thank all the people who came and spoke and advocated for the various municipalities and organizations as well as the county. I think we have our work cut out for us this legislative session. And I believe that Representative Mooney and I we're up to the task as we proved in the last session. And I think we'll be meeting those challenges and hopefully fulfilling everyone's expectations. I want to take a point of personal privilege and just, I know everyone's just mourning the loss of our friend Mike Forster, but I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate Holly Rashine on her appointment to the County Commission. I think the governor made a great selection, and Representative Mooney, if you're amenable to maybe naming a road after Mike in Monroe County, I think it would be proper and fitting to talk, maybe do something like that this session if you're in agreement. And I think it would be a nice tribute to our friend Mike.
Of course, I'm all in, I'm all in. But yes, thank you to all from all the support from the county and the cities for Holly. I think that she was a very logical choice, and it should be relatively seamless. Her background obviously speaks for itself. And I think that Mike would be very, very happy that his legacy will move forward. And yep, I'm all in, and we'll figure it out. We'll get with the
agree. I also
county and the cities and
I also
we'll
want
figure
to
out
thank,
something.
yeah, I also want to thank our manager, Roman, who's always there, and to just all the county commissioners and Mayor Coldiron. I know that the lobbying teams all do a fantastic job representing you all, but your elected officials are also very much involved in this process. And I want to thank all of them for always being in communication with us during session and committee meetings. So thank you all and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Senator Rodriguez. And with that said, I really don't have much more to say. I think Rodriguez, Anna said it best. She's spot on with Holly, spot on with Mike. And again, thank all you for your leadership. You guys, this is an amazing county. We're blessed. The one thing you do learn in Tallahassee is we are different, but we're not just different because we're an area of critical concern. We're different because we do it right more times than not. And I can tell you that's the battle with home rule, because there are things you see up there in home rule. You're like, oh my God, what are they thinking? And they just sit on money. They waste money. They don't use money properly. So I understand some of those attacks. It's difficult for a home rule guy to have to be involved in that, but we'll continue to fight the fight. Trust me, it's what we do, and it's who I am. I know it's who Senator Rodriguez is. And again, I'm blessed to have a great staff, and look forward to this session. And please come up and visit, and don't be shy. And Emma, I'm going to send you an email later, Emma. I've got something really cool you might really like for the Florida Bay. Might be something right in your wheelhouse.
We'll look forward to it, Jim.
Yep. Okay, with that said, any other comments? Then we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
You.